Well, hello, and welcome back to another episode of Three Crones and the Woo Woo. I am your Dragon Slayer Crone, slaying dragons just this morning, as a matter of fact. My name is Gayle Nicholson with Creative Command Coaching and Consulting. To my side here, we have my cohort in crime, Miss Krista Ducharme, our traveling crystal crone with Dimensional Healing with Krista. Healing just a few minutes ago, actually. And supporting us from below, we have Miss Damaris Samolinski with Ask the Genie with Damaris Samolinski. Thank you for joining us, everyone. Ladies, how are you guys doing?
I'm doing well. How about you guys?
I'm doing well. I'm warmer and drier than when you saw me yesterday.
Yes, yes.
That always makes you happy, baby. Warm and dry.
But no weather, no storm stops us, right? You know,
right?
It's great.
It did not. I'm not kidding you.
What?
Yeah, it was pouring. I'm not kidding you when I say I had weather. It was pouring.
Well, I appreciate you braving it out for us. And, you know, our Coven of Joy over at Patreon does too. We had a really great little Patreon show yesterday.
We did.
We really did.
And Damaris threw in some of her medical astrology as a little bit of a bonus for that particular group. So if you're wondering what we talked about, if you were a Patreon, you would know. So why don't you go over to Three Crones and the Woo Woo on Patreon and sign up. All righty?
Yeah.
Yes. They'll get extras. They'll get extras.
What was that?
They'll get extra.
Yes, you will get extra. Not sure if that's what you want, but you will get it.
Yeah.
So hello.
So, yes.
Hi, Tracy. Glad you're here, even if it's just for a little minute. Thanks for stopping in.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, Harry. Thanks for being here.
Hey, Harry.
Awesome sauce. All right. Well, let's see. Krista, fill us in on what's been going on there lately with your husband's automotive skills.
Okay, so I share this for the greater good of everybody. Yeah, we had a little bit of a snafu with our car the other day. We were heading down to France and Belgium to go do some really fun touring with our Australian friends who are here visiting from Australia. They're no longer in Sydney. They're now up in Queensland. And so we're all excited, and my car, Blue, needed a half a tank of gas. So we stopped, or half a tank of diesel. Let me clarify that. So we stopped at the petrol station and we fill it up. Kevin gets out and he fills it up. And he thought he's being really magnanimous, and he got me the super diesel.
Super diesel.
And by the way, there is such a animal. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Here's the thing, though. You know, like the animals when you match your clothes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You just need a match. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we go moving along. We're driving along. You know, we're all excited because we're going to go to a Trappist brewery in Belgium and have Belgian fries, Trappist brewery, and before we go on to our Airbnb location just over the border in France. And and Blue starts coughing a little. And I'm like, But then she stops. She only did it a couple of times. I'm like, that's kind of weird. Was it the road? She doesn't, I mean, this car is drives like a dream. Mm-hmm. So we get going, and then about an hour in, 111 miles to be exact, to be precise. And by the way, those of you who like the numerology, the price tag for the gas that we got, or for the fuel we got, 73.73. Okay. All right. So you mull those numbers all in your head. So we get there at 100, and I look at Kevin, and we're like, oh, there's a zip on, zip off. Let's go, everybody. Check our bodies, and have a little bit of a walk around. And so we get out and we go for our little walk around. We all get a goodie, some pretzels, some Belgian waffles, and coffee. It's all great. We're having a good time. And and Kevin goes to turn the car over. Nothing. Look at him. I'm like, oh, this is strange. Nothing happens. Tries it 3 times. I look at him. I go, so I have a question. Are you sure you put diesel in the car? So it just so happens he handed me the receipt. We don't always get the receipt. But this time, because it was a double number, he's like, oh, Krista's going to love this. So he brings it to me like a good doobie. And he gives me the receipt. And I pull the receipt out and I look at it. And I'm like, it's Supreme 98. That's unleaded. He goes, oh, shit.
Yikes.
So 5.5 hours later, thankfully, we have a wonderful insurance. Our insurance company here is amazing. And I have to tell you, anytime you're in Europe and you have to buy a car and you have to live here and everything, Aon is awesome. So they set up our tow truck. They set up a car rental, and we're not talking a little mini car because there were 4 adults. It's a lovely Nissan. We don't know how to say it. It's Quattro. We don't have them in the. It's not a. What did you say?
Quattro.
I don't know. I have to look it up US and see if that's what it actually is. If it's a Quattro, but it's a really super cute car. And they set us up with all this, and they are paying for it.
Nice.
They call us. It was amazing. So because this is Saturday afternoon, and we're just like, okay. So instead of going to the Trappist Brewery, we just drove on to France to our Airbnb. But the long and the short of the story, or more to make the story a little shorter, we got a phone call this morning and it was fixed.
Wonderful.
So all that needed to happen was they drained the Super 98 out, which will now be really great to clean things in the garage. Because they can't use it since it's mixed with diesel. And they only had to change a fuel filter, and it is running and ready for us to pick it up tomorrow.
Wonderful.
That is amazing. Now I got to ask you quickly, because I didn't hear. When Kevin tried to start it and it didn't start, did it like try to start and it wouldn't catch, or did it just like shut down entirely? Like, no, we're not even going to engage the starter.
Yep, that's exactly what it did. That is precisely what it did. It really is. I absolutely love this car. This our first and most likely only Mercedes. And we have it because we live here. And, Mercedes is like driving a Toyota. But I have to tell you, if I ever have the opportunity to own a Mercedes again, I would do it in a New York second, because the engineering, and you could tell that it's like, oh, this is part of the car intelligence. How they constructed everything. The car knew that something was wrong. And no, we're not doing
anything. There has to be a sensor on that fuel filter.
Yeah. There has to be.
Yeah. And I suspect it was half a tank, and that's what saved us. I truly believe what saved us. And, as we were discussing yesterday in our Moon and Woo, a lot of this, because it happened during Mercury retrograde, this is lessons. And I was just saying before we came on that this particular Mercury retrograde has brought forth many lessons. and actually kind of the kind of lessons that can make you off kilter. Very easily, not little lessons where it's like, oh, I substituted sugar for salt, but really
that could be bad too.
that could be really bad as well. Yeah, that really can be bad. By the way, I have done that. Just sharing, I have done that. But yeah, so it with everything that has come up, because I have been very good, and I have to pat myself on the back. I haven't been having those knee-jerk overreactions.
That's
versus
wonderful.
I've been trying to stay, present and
that
work on.
That could also be considered spiritual maturity.
And very much. Well, look at another pat on the back. Because it is some of the things, it's been just really interesting. I am thankful, like I said, our insurance company is paying for everything.
Amazing.
All of
wonderful.
it, including the repair. I'll tell you, this country is an amazing. I really love the Netherlands. We really enjoy living here. So yeah, I'm glad it's turning out in a positive. Yeah. And as Kevin said, this is a one and done. He's like, it's something I never have to do again, and nor do I have to repeat, and nor will I repeat.
Wonderful,
I'm like,
Kevin.
Yeah.
I
And love him. I apologize for poking fun at him, but that's just a wonderful story of and very helpful to those who don't realize what happens when you put diesel in a gas car or put gas in a diesel car. And you were very lucky that you have a Mercedes that would shut it down and go, oh, we're not going to let this get into the actual fuel system. Cut it off right at the path, so to speak. So, because that can be really, really nasty.
Definitely.
Awesome. Well, I'm really glad that everything.
Oh, and very expensive.
Yeah.
Very, very, very expensive.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All righty. Well, Miss Damaris.
Yes. So, that was, the.
Go ahead. Remind me again when Mercury goes direct, because I'm about over this.
18th.
Okay. When?
The 18th.
Tomorrow.
I'm done. I am like.
I am going to add an additional bonus today because of this situation.
Okay, well, you let us know what's on tap, because I got to hear something hopeful here.
All right. I'm going to start with the number first so that you understand. All right. So today's number 7. 7 is definitely the number of soul searching. Ooh, I have to stick mine somewhere because all my bottles are already, I have a sticker on every bottle already. But anyway, the number 7 is the number of soul searching. It's almost like when we're going within, it's almost like going through that rabbit hole. Like I said, I think it was yesterday, the Chinese New Year is the year of the rabbit, going down the hole, right? To find ourselves and to, figure out who we really are, going within. But the 7 is also associated with the 7 chakras. The 7 chakras also has to do with 7 states of consciousness. Each chakra is vibrating at a different level based on the planets, right? So each chakra is related to a planet. And so say in the past life, we balanced some things, but we haven't balanced others. That's why the different vibrational frequencies of each chakra, they are oscillating at different rates and different speeds. If you got those lessons, let's say a lesson from the throat, you don't really need to balance that. So that's, regulated and working properly. This could also be looked at when I went to seminary school. We called it the 7 roses of the cross of the body, which is associated to the rosary. And I'll show you. I just had to take it out of my sorry. don't know what happened. All right, so I'm going to show you. All right, so this could be considered the crown and all the chakras, and this would be the root, right?
Okay.
So each of them are, like I said, vibrating at different levels. This is the puppeteer, this is the puppet, and this is the wheel of karma and cause and effect. So if who's controlling us? Is it our own mind, our negative thinking? Is it other people, outside influences? Whoever is controlling us is literally working the puppet.
Okay.
But then we'll pay the consequences on the cross. Each of us is on a cross. The cross could be whatever burdens we have, whatever we have imbalanced. So that's considered the 7 roses upon the cross of the body, which we're all going through. Does anybody understand what I'm saying? Do you have any questions?
Yeah. No.
So the vibration of number 7 is definitely reflection. And the first job that we have is the job to heal ourselves and to balance ourselves. It's not really to help someone first, instead of helping ourselves first. I don't know if I said it yesterday, but I had a client. This lady just passed away, and she spent 30 years volunteering, doing volunteer work, but those 30 years weren't spent on herself, and she had a whole many different ailments and diseases that's what caused her death. And so with that, just knowing that, you would understand that she really wasn't working on the crosses that she came to bear, the things that she had to balance. She spent it all volunteering instead of going within. And yes, we have to volunteer and we have to help, but we have to help the self first. That is the first contribution to humanity, is the healing of the self. And so the number 7 is a very powerful number. It shows up in the Bible so many times. It's definitely a number of finding the self. This is a year 7 as well. So a lot of people will be, going within and finding their truth, and then finding also the truth of the life that we've been living, our reality, which that will take me into the planets, what I'm going to speak about today. All right. So first, I'm going to just say that on the 20th, the sun goes into Aquarius. On the 21st, we have the new moon in Aquarius. On the 22nd, we have the Chinese New Year of the Rabbit. The Aquarius new moon is almost like a rocket ship. Leaving the gravity of the earth and going into a space where there's less density, where we are able to visualize, manifest, and create the world for the future. Because Aquarius in Uranus is all about the future. It's all about what's coming. It's where we're going. It's not where we've been. And so based on what we balanced in the past, we know where we're going, if we're going at a higher speed or a lower speed. Based on those chakras, based on the planets connected to each chakra, we're literally made in the image of the stars. Literally, just as they say we're made in the image of the Christ, we're also made in the image of the stars. And based on each state of consciousness, we react a different way. Like Krista's example of what she went through, she's more aware, so she could have had a knee-jerk reaction for a few minutes, but then balanced it. Someone that's not aware would be cursing and creating more havoc for themselves, right? So based on each state of consciousness of the chakras, how to react or not to react, making less problems for ourselves in the future. Now, I also want to talk about the Uranus in the sign of Taurus. Taurus is the sign of money. Money is, Uranus has been in retrograde in Taurus since August the 24th. It's going to be there for another 3 years. By the time the Uranus leaves the sign of Taurus and goes into the sign of Gemini, the digital currency will change. The money, monetary money, we're going to go more into a digital kind of monetary system, if you will. That's what's happening already. It's happening. And a lot of places you go to, it says, they don't have, they only take credit, no cash. I've seen that too. So that's changing. That's really going to shift. So there's going to be shifts in that. I mean, I don't know if we'll have a cashless society. I wouldn't want that, all together, but there's going to be some sort of shift in that.
Interesting.
Yeah. I feel it's going to be more,
well, a lot of currency has been shifting and changing.
Yeah. And I feel more, it's not so much for control, it's just so much for money can be the root of or evil. What people do for money can be the root of all evil, and so that's going to shift because like I said before, the planet is going into a more peaceful energy rather than the one we've been on for so long.
Yeah. Interesting stuff.
Yeah.
So what once it moves over into Gemini.
Well, Gemini is all about, it's about our creative abilities. It's all about writing, speaking, communication, right? It's all about, our surroundings, like the neighbors, the town we live in, the community we live in. It's all about that. So then, I was thinking about that the other day, and I was listening to a podcast with this man. I think he's in Europe somewhere, and he started what it's called a small town. And in this small town, everything is working on a barter system. The people they're creating it, and the people in this area, they're planting their own foods, they're growing their own foods. They have their own like school system where they're in the community. There's one person that's let's say a teacher. They have different people that are doing different things in the small town. They're not going outside of the small town. They're going within the town. In other words, they're not connected to government aid. They're just doing it themselves. And he says that, he would really love for this to be duplicated, worldwide, where we're more, self-sufficient, less dependent on the government. And so, because then they have control. And so I feel that by that time, I feel like more people will emulate that kind of thing, where they're going to create their own cities, where, I think of the Amish, right? They have their own thing going on,
Right.
And
their own community.
I think it works best for them that way. I think it's a good idea is what I want to say.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. So that sounds like that might go back to, or we rather, as a society, may actually go back to a time when we had those little small pods of communities,
where you knew your neighbors, right?
So to speak. What?
Where you knew your neighbors and related with them and chat, talk to them. Now it's like everybody just waves and goes into their house. There's no real connection. There's no real, you know what I mean? And so when everybody is isolated, there's no real change. Like I was saying before, it's about coming together as one, we the people of the world, and making the necessary changes that need to be made. Because if we sit back and say, oh, it is what it is, we're not going to make the changes. We're going to repeat history. And that's what Pluto is all about. Pluto is showing us, we're repeating history, and are we going to continue to repeat it? And so some people are waking up to that fact, and some are not. Some are just like, blissfully oblivious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sometimes I wonder if I want to stay blissfully oblivious, or if I want to get there.
Right. It does seem a lot easier sometimes. I gotta say, where I'm at right now, this town was chartered in 1749. It's like 25 years older than the country.
Wow.
Yeah. And the people here are, we actually have a veterans home that is quite active and does events, and we take care of their motto. On the sign, fulfilling on the promise.
Wow.
And it's very, very much a town built out of that early New England mentality of this is our land now, and we're going to take care of ourselves, our people. And there's probably about 40,000 people in this town, but there are a few key players. And it's not like, corporations swoop in and, buy up the Eveready factory or whatever, you know. This is a town of small business people. You know? And thankfully, even when they did allow like Walmart and Petco and you know, like huge chain grocery stores to come in, they are relegated to like the north end of town. They're not allowed to come into town.
I love it. I love it.
And so I see the value in, you know, the leading edge of us going that way where we know each other and, you know,
help
like
each other.
Joke about $100 in a small town feeds everybody.
Yes.
You know,
and that's what I was going to say. You know, I saw this video where these people were growing, instead of grass, they were growing, you know, herbs, and they were growing, you know, produce in the front yard. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's like they're, you know, they're planting their own foods. It's like, you know, from farm to table, so to speak.
Yeah.
Also, if these big companies keep knocking down trees and building stuff, we're not going to have land to, you know, to do that. You know what I mean? And so is these people with, and then they talk about the carbon footprint. They want, you know, in the Georgia Guidestones, it was written that the humanity should be reduced to 500 million, I think it was. And I'm like, their idea is to reduce the population. No, that's not the answer.
Right.
The answer is, you know, to change, to create, you know, create these small towns where the communities are coming together. They're helping each other in that community. They're growing their own food. You know, there's teachers in that same community. There's different people helping each other. And if every community was like that, imagine how beautiful the world would be. We would have food for 150 years if we grow our own. You know what I mean? No, they want to be in control. And so that's the whole also energy of Saturn and the whole energy of Uranus. We're going to allow Saturn to keep restricting us, but Saturn is only restricting us to teach us the lesson of breaking free from the chains. It has to get really bad so that we wake up. And that's what Saturn's job is literally to bring us to the brink of, you know, am I going to be
finally say uncle?
Right? Or am I going to break free with Uranus energy, you know, and literally like a rocket ship in a state of mind, you know, leave the gravity of the earth to go to a place where the space is freer, lighter, less dense. And I can be the creative, sovereign, spiritual being that I am. And so that's really the energy of all these planets. And that's really the archetypal message that they're bringing to us. You know, the Mercury retrograde is so we can focus, be present, you know, and not, you know, be, you know, sort of like distracted. And we all get there, you know, some people are distracted while they're driving. They end up somewhere else. I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, and so these planets are showing us like, no, you have to be present. You have to, you know, be willing and able to, you know, make the necessary changes, not just lay back and say it is what it is, and allow history to keep repeating itself. And, you know, we have to make that shift, make that internal shift.
Well put. Very nicely done. Thank you so much for that. Damaris. Awesome stuff. All right, Miss Krista, how are you going to follow that axe? But see, we've got new stickers.
Yes,
we do. We got the
and we do have new stickers.
So
I do. I have some beautiful new sticker stuff. And we have magnets, which I failed to bring up so I could show you guys. We have Crystal of the Week and the Moon and Planetary magnet as well.
Planetary
and
moon.
Those are yours. Huh?
So here we have 2000.
There it is. The crystal of the week.
All of the weeks. And then we have the moon and planet woo.
Yeah,
all kinds of really cool information on this one.
Yeah.
And you got to get yours because you can't read it on the screen.
Yeah, I did. I really.
I like it because it also reminds me of,
but it can be yours.
It's also a reminder of when we have the moon and woo,
yes,
meets when we meet.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So I try to have things on there. And, if you would like those, you can have both for $9. Just message me and we'll sort that out immediately. So, yes.
Awesome.
So it's
I'm
my
so
turn
excited about
to
the
talk about
and the magnets and everything. But yeah, you need to talk about lithium quartz. She froze. I didn't even see her dancing.
I was dancing. And here we go. Yeah, because I have to say that I was so excited that lithium quartz is this week, is our crystal of the week, especially since my end of last week was kind of the way it was in my weekend. But I found when I love lithium quartz. I always find it very calming. And I was thinking about it today for us. And I was thinking about all the energy and the way Mercury retrograde has been, playing with us, because yes, tomorrow it ends, but then we still have the shadow of Mercury retrograde.
It's not as strong though.
It's not as strong, but it keeps us, on our tippy toes. And of course, on top of all of that, we've been having sun flares, solar flares as well, to just add to the excitement, because, that's what the party's all about.
Yeah.
And, right. And so, but the really cool thing about lithium is, yes, it's a calming stone and it's a gentle calmer. It gives you that sweet, calming energy that helps you just calm within. So think of it this way. It calms your mind on the inside, but it expands your heart on the outside.
Love it.
Sit with that for a moment. But it's also, because it is very much an earth, it's a one of those earthy connecting kind of quartz that we have. It's grounding, yet because I want to make sure I say which, I just had it and I was surprised. It actually connects. Where is it? It connects with the element of water.
Interesting.
As well. Isn't that interesting? But yet it's a grounder.
And if you were part of yesterday's Moon and Woo, you would know why I'm saying that's so interesting.
Go ahead. Isn't it? Yes. Yeah. And and for those of you zodiac folk that like to know crystals that work with you, this is good for our Virgos and our Libras. Hey, by the way, I have 2 of those in my house presently.
You said Virgo?
One of each. I have a Virgo and a Leo. I'm in a Libra in my house. And there you go. Yeah, but it really is a great stone that helps us to pause. So think about the fact that all the energy in Damaris, you just said about, talking about how people can have those knee-jerk reactions to situations that may occur. Remember, if you take that extra moment, that 5 seconds, that's what lithium is here to help us remember. Take that 5 seconds.
Take that 5 seconds. I want to show you the video, the clip. There you go. This is what you're looking for.
So pretty. It almost looks like a rose quartz.
Yes.
Yeah, but when you see it,
it does. It has
this. Don't do it justice. But it's almost like phantoms of red inside of, and it's not even, it's like a dusty rose, actually, not like a pink like a rose quartz, but like a dusty rose, like red rock.
Yep. And so it's a very dusty rose or lavender, a dusty lavender color. And, it really is good for us to focus on pausing. And emotionally, it's a great one. So to remind us about, loving and kindness And but yet it's really good at helping us release. So, you stones sometimes are really great because do one really good thing or one big thing really well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, others, they're great balancers, and they may not make sense as to why they're a balancer. And lithium is one of those, a lithium quartz. But because quartz is an amplifier. But think about lithium, and lithium is energizing, right? We use it, batteries, and it stores energy, and it does all this great stuff. But when it works in the quartz, it really works in such a different way with our own personal energy. It really just it's a yummy feeling. And with all this energy that I can't even say we, I can say me. All right, I'm just going to put it there. Me, all this crazy that my life has been experiencing and kind of will be until the end of the week. This is a wonderful stone because it just, okay, you hold it. And it was funny, I've almost brought it upstairs. It's downstairs. My lithium quartz is downstairs, and I went to go grab it to bring it up. But I'm like, if I bring it up, I probably won't be able to do the show because I'll just be so comfortable. How about that?
Krista, you're too funny.
So yeah, it's really kind of good. Or I should say, that it's a really good stone to have right now. If you think about what we've been having, just from the beginning of the year, a lot of it is building up and flowing with this energy that the planets keep tossing at us. I feel like in ways we're receiving speedballs, right? Of all this energy coming at us, coming at us, coming at us.
We're dodging
and
bullets.
The stone, yeah. Okay. Dodging those energetic bullets, right?
Yeah.
And we're playing the crystals are kind of like taking it. It's like, okay, yeah, come here. That's fine because I'm going to show you. I'm going to be here to remind you what else is possible, what else we can work with. So there's so much that these stones can do, the lithium quartz. But just remember this, is that it's a great one to help you feel safe and calm. And it's a really one that helps you open up your heart to love and kindness and generosity.
Especially during turbulent times,
Yeah. Yeah, we can't forget the generosity, because in giving, that's where we find ourselves, our best selves.
Yeah.
I wanted to add to that.
Exactly.
I don't know if I'm just old enough, and I know we're all kind of the same age, or if it may have to do with my family's been more of a manic depressive kind of bloodline. But I remember lithium as medicine, and when I first got some crystal points that were gifted to me that were individually, I got this hand-me-down of this entire crystal store given to me. And in that were some lithium points. And I mean, they were just so powerful, just holding them in your hand, you could feel the shift, right? And this is, so I just wanted to point out that this is one of those places that it's almost common knowledge, not quite, but almost common knowledge, how science has corralled the power of these stones that we say have these certain properties, and they've actually scientifically applied those properties, right? And so many times we hear people talking about crystals and say, "Oh, that's really like all in your head kind of thing." Right? Like it's not real. It's not scientific. It's not quantifiable. Yeah. Well, guess what? It is. So lithium shows us that it's not that other items don't necessarily have an application or an energetic signature, but that the mainstream hasn't found a way to harness it for profit yet.
100%, Gayle.
So they're going to deny it until they find a way to apply it and make money on you.
It's terrible.
And until then, it's all bunk. So don't listen to that. Listen to what your within tells you. You know, when you hold on to a piece of rock and you feel calmer, right? It's just as real as me looking up what is lithium as medicine. Oh, a mood stabilizer. It's a mood stabilizer used to treat mood disorders such as mania, excited, overactive, or distracted, or hypomania, similar to mania but less severe. An actual medical application of the energy that the woo-woo queens, 3 quones, tell you about every week. All right. So I just had to
exactly.
Thank you. Thank you.
Like that today. Okay.
Yep. And another one, just as an FYI, if you want another lithium filled stone, I happen to have it right here. Lepetolite.
I love that one.
And this one's just magical and wonderful.
I love that one. I love the color
sometimes
too. So pretty.
And this one's just as magical and wonderful. But do me a favor, please don't suck on these.
Yeah, no.
Do not decide that you want to lick it. Do not taste them yet because they are toxic.
Yeah.
All right. Do not pop them in your water. You can put them next to your water, but do not pop them in your water. Yeah, because the lithium stones are toxic.
Yeah.
Pardon?
Yep.
I put one underneath my pillow to sleep.
There you go.
Perfect. Yeah. So yeah, but yeah, the lithium quartz is here to really help us to enjoy. And think of it this way: as Gayle was reading, it's good for your mood. It does work moods quite well. Mm-hmm. So if you're suffering from seasonal depression, it's another great one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the interesting part about it is it's a mood stabilizer. So if you're feeling manic, if you've got those knee-jerk reactions, it will balance you out. It will calm you down. If you're feeling low, it will bring you up. Okay, it's not going to take you up to giggles and mush territory up there, you know, psychedelics and all that. It's not like that. But it will stabilize you, and that calmness, the depression will be calmness, not sadness, if that makes sense, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, my dear. So I wanted to say thank you to the Coven of Joy. Yeah, Krista, why don't you tell us about what's going on over at Patreon?
I'm going to you to everybody, all our Patreon members. And because it's a new year, we're really working more diligently, the 3 of us, at getting things up in there and on for everyone to share. Gayle's getting ready to upload a new
Moon and Woo workbook.
Moon and Woo workbook. And Damaris, she does an extra little bit of info over there. And I'm going to be starting to add more info about the crystals as well on the Patreon side. Not just about the crystals of the week, but also about the crystals. My goal is the crystals of the zodiacs this year is to really help with that. Because I know that for some people that can be very beneficial in their life.
We need all the help we can get.
Yes. So if you want to be part of Moon and Woo, our 2 extra opportunities to be with us twice a month, you can do that at the amethyst level. We have 2 levels currently. Citrine, which is I always tell everybody that's a wonderful level. You help keep the lights on. And the amethyst level, we thank you greatly and even more with little items like the magnets. We just sent, I just sent magnets to all our current Patreon members as a thank you. So I'm very excited for that too.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm really excited that we were able to do that. Thank you for doing that, Krista. These magnets are freaking awesome. They really are.
That's my
It's good quality. They're
better.
I've removed these from the refrigerator a couple of times, and I'm always worried that my fingernail is going to cut the top.
Yeah.
And separate the paper from the magnet. But it's almost like these were printed right on the magnet. There's no separation. Really nice quality.
Yeah,
they are.
Really good quality. Yeah, I was very impressed when I got them, and so excited to share them with everybody. So yeah, my goal is to get them out in hands. And this week, everybody who got magnets, you guys are going to be getting an extra prize in your email from me. I'm not going to say, but I'll probably get it out. It probably will be Thursday that I get it out to everybody. So that you guys can no later than Friday when you all wake up. But yeah, I have it ready. I just need to get it into the email to send it out to everyone.
Fantastic. Looking forward to that.
Yep.
And we need more presents.
Present. I love this. For me is so much fun.
More surprises. Yes. All right, cool.
Yes,
well,
indeedy.
let's talk a little bit about how to be calm, present, and stress less in 2023. Well, if you haven't been listening so far, I don't know what else I can tell you. See you later. Good night.
Okay, bye.
From knowing that the future is much more hopeful than these last 3 years have been. We've been going through some heavy duty shit, okay? Pluto's still got a little bit more heavy duty shit in store for us. And so it may get worse before it gets better.
Yeah.
But the point is, it's going to get better, okay? It really is. It's going to get better. Mother Nature is a very, very interesting woman, shall we say, okay? You can pretend like you can really impact something, but she will wipe every last human off the face of this planet and come back with the trees, okay?
Yeah.
You might think we're all that.
Mess with her.
But the reality is this planet is far stronger and has been around far longer than humans were even a glimmer in God's eye, okay? So trust that no matter what, her cycles will come around and things will spring forth again, if you will, right? And this has been going on so long that we have multiple consecutive versions of the fairy tale to explain what Mother Nature does every trip around the sun, okay? So just trust that the cycles will win out and things will get better, okay? And energy will flow in a more fluid manner than it has in the past. And that's all that money is anyway, right? Energy flow.
Yeah.
Have you ever noticed, or maybe it's just me,
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's just me. I have money earmarked for certain things. And I have this strange little core memory that's hooked up to all that. And if I have to spend the money that was earmarked for this thing on something else, my money flows stop because I think that I've done something wrong. Okay. And it's in that moment of judgment that I've done something wrong that stops the money flow. Not because I became undeserving. I read something the other day, it blew my mind. I wish I had thought of this myself. We don't create abundance. We create limitations. Abundance is always there, freely flowing wherever it is allowed. We create limitations.
That's it.
Right? And I was just like, oh my God. So that's why all that intentional manifesting is shaky at best, right? Because it really has nothing to do with creating abundance. It's about getting whatever is in the way of that abundance, getting to you out of the way. Okay? So these are some of the things, the shifts in thinking that will help you be calmer, like knowing that the future will be better. knowing that you are able to uncreate those limitations as well, that will get that money flowing again. Sometimes all it takes is looking at a situation straight on and understanding the logic of it, instead of that specter that makes us go, I don't really want to look at it. And then it never dissipates, because the only thing that can dissipate a fear is love. And the only way that you can love something is direct on. Okay, you can't love something like that. You get it? So, all right. So these are the things that you can start shifting how you're thinking about things, that will make you a lot calmer in the days to come, and able to be more present as well in the days to come. Because when you know that you truly don't have anything to fear from the future, like coming from the attitude that your creator didn't create anything that you have to fear, right? Then you can move forward into the present, being present with what's in front of you, because you have nothing to fear, right? And if you have nothing to fear, what is there to stress about? No matter what happens, things will fall into place to take care of those things, because you are a child of God in whom God is well pleased, right? Yeah. So don't worry about it. Things are going to fall into place to take care of that. I mean, look at what Krista was telling us about the car, right? That car didn't even let the mistake become a problem, right? And I'm not saying that's because Krista is a better person than most, though she is, right, in my opinion. I'm not saying that's because, she picked the right guy. Okay. That's available to anybody if they would allow it, right? If you bought that kind of car, it'd be available to you too, and then some of us sit over there, it's a Mercedes, it's not a Chevy, I can't buy that. Well, there's your limitation that you created. The abundance is available.
There you go.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying, these are take these away, popcorn, sit in the tub with them. I don't know. But these are some ideas for you to be able to be more calm, to be more present, and to stress less for the coming year. Don't put, like Krista said, don't put lithium in your water. Don't go self-medicating with lithium. That's not okay. All right. But you can hold on to it. You can remind yourself of the calmness and the peacefulness that comes with that amplified bit of toxicity, right? And everything in moderation, including moderation. How many other items do we have in the general apothecary of Mother Nature that a little bit's a great thing and a lot of it is not? Yeah. Right. So always be awake and always be conscious of what you're doing and why.
Which is key word.
Exactly. I tried to cross exactly and absolutely. It wouldn't even come out.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Well, absolutely. There you go. A new word, a Gaylism.
What was that? What did you call it?
Said it's a Gaylism. Absolutely.
No, what the
a
word?
Gaylism. What are your words?
What was the word though?
Oh, did you say absolutely?
Absolutely. I can't even say.
Oh
my God.
We're being silly now.
Yes. So essentially that's what I wanted to bring across to people today, all you lovely people in the Coven of Joy, is that there are ways that you can shift your thinking to be focused on more hopeful outcomes, right? To work on yourself in a way that benefits your community, and this is exactly like what I just said is exactly the stuff that we went deeper on yesterday in the Patreon group, right? working on our own personal stuff in a way that will help the community, right? Because that's what the planets are supporting us in doing. So why swim upstream? Learn more about what's already happening in life so that you can make it work for you instead of against you. Instead of going, oh, I don't understand the 3 sentences that are in the Sunday paper and it doesn't seem to apply to me. So the whole, science, pseudoscience, soft science of astrology means nothing. Well, that you apply yourself, you'll actually learn how to live your life with the flow, literally with the flow of the orbits of the planets.
100%. I mean, we are made in its image. Exactly. We're a microcosm of the universe, Yeah. So they are within us.
Yeah. And what's kind of funny that you brought that up and showed the rosary earlier was the fact that I was just saying to someone else today we were talking about spirituality versus religion. Somebody had asked me earlier this week if I was religious, and I said, well, I'm a minister, but not really.
Yeah, me too.
But when I was talking about it, I said, you want to see the reality of the creator, look at space, the alignments of the planets and the infiniteness of space is exactly the same as you drill down to the very atom that we know of. And who knows, beyond that we haven't been able to find a way to see yet, right? The structure of an atom and the nucleus and the molecule in a cell is all the same as our universe.
Yeah.
And if you can't see the creator in that, then there's something that needs to be looked at in your brain, because you should be able to see patterns like that.
Yeah.
But the point, I guess, that I'm trying to get at is there's no judgment in that. There's no threat of hell in that. There is a natural function of everything flowing together and everything having its place in the entirety of it.
100%.
Right?
Yep.
And that is what I believe in. I believe
they say
that.
They say, and I've heard, and I've said this before on the show, maybe last year, our goal is to literally bring the physicality with the spirituality and blend them together. So that's when we have that immaculate conception, when we are able to, utilize all the tools of the earth and connect to our spirit and bring that energy down to become the magicians that we are. And that is the immaculate conception. And so we really need to, mash them together, not just be in the physicality and forget the spirituality, or live in the spirituality like I used to in a bubble and forgot, what was going on down here. I'm like, wait a second, So bringing them together. I actually wrote a story that was published about my physical awakening, which is understanding, the 2,000 years of slavery that we've been under, if you will, because this earth school is the biggest density, and climbing out of that density is really, that they call us brave just coming into this planet, because the density is so thick that some people never get out of it. And that's when they keep coming back in that karmic wheel. And so when we crawl out of hell, or we come out like a bat out of hell, out of that density, then that's when we have our, our spiritual awakening, and then we can bring that energy down into this planet.
Gotcha. Interesting. We'll have to do like a much more like in-depth exploration of that. But right now we got to finish this up, and I still got to do the card of the day. So here we go. 4 of Swords. Well, if that doesn't say all.
Oh my goodness.
Right now is a time of rest, pulling in, taking a look at what, where you need restoration at, And it's kind of funny because that it just all flows in beautifully, doesn't it? So, card of today, 4 of Swords. Calm your mind. Takes time to let your thoughts settle and your ideas mature. Taking time for mental restoration will help you focus and stay motivated in the days to come.
Wow. It's just amazing.
Mm-hmm. So, when this card appears,
and
it's time
Woo-woo
for
has
break.
appeared.
What?
Woo-woo has appeared.
It says
Yes,
Woo-woo appeared.
Definitely has appeared. Whether you're having a hard time working through a problem or starting to feel ill or need some fresh ideas, the best thing you can do when the 4 of Swords appears is to retreat to a quiet place. Go within, do the work.
Which is that number 7 too, the vibration of soul searching, going within, reflection.
Yep. It's not a weakness to require rest at times. Stress can take a toll on our bodies, minds, and spirits. Taking time out to recuperate can give us the strength and fortitude that we need to carry on. The 4 of Swords may also be advising you to seek counsel, to go to an expert for advice. This card may also be advising you to keep some new idea to yourself for now. Let the idea grow in your mind before sharing it with the world. But in tying all of that in with exactly what we've been talking about today. I mean, it is a time to relax. Take a look at the reality of things. Look at the future in a more hopeful way, and then move towards that reality. All of it. But now is the time to rest. There's no shame in resting. There is no shame in restoring your well, if you will.
Yeah.
Time to do that. And we want to say congratulations to this week's Woo-Woo giveaway winner, Miss Matilda Robinson.
Congratulations.
Yay! So thank you for being part of 3 Crones and the Woo-Woo. For those of you who don't know how this works, all you have to do, Matilda, is reach out to one of the 3 of us and that you choose to deliver a 30-minute reading to you. So if you want me to do the reading, it'll be an intuitive tarot reading. If you would like Krista to do your reading, it'll be a 30-minute crystal reading. And if you would like Damaris Samolinski to do your reading, it will be a numerology reading. So all you got to do is reach out to any one of us. Just tell us through Facebook Messenger, I choose you, and we will get you right on the schedule. And in fact, last week's winner is on my schedule for next week already. So congratulations, Matilda, and thank you so much for being part of 3 Crones and the Woo-Woo. All right. And once again, thank you to everybody who is out here watching us each and every week, supporting us from behind the scenes and on the screens. Thank you so very much for being part of the Coven of Joy. Have a great week. See everybody. Bye.
Bye.